The most fuel-efficient aircraft ever. There is some question as to the most fuel-efficient aircraft ever flown. There is no question in my mind, it was my Long-EZ, November 6 Echo Zulu, that I flew nonstop from Alamogordo, New Mexico to Ava, Missouri in 6 hours on about 20 gallons of fuel. That was a nearly 800-mile flight. We're trimmed and leaned out at altitude. Yes, my girlfriend and I had oxygen. I was burning a mere 3.2 gallons an hour at 120 miles per hour. I was getting nearly 38 miles per gallon and traveling at well over twice highway speeds in less than one-third the time, considering highways rarely travel point to point in a straight line. This compares to Dick Rutan's flight, the brother of Burt Rutan, the aircraft designer, where he flew non-stop from Anchorage, Alaska to Grand Turk Island near Haiti. That flight was 4,900 miles, 30 hours at 34.5 miles per gallon. As I've heard the story, they put a waterbed in the rear seat of the airplane and filled it with fuel as a third tank, more than doubling the normal capacity of a Long-EZ, increasing it to 120 gallons as compared to the usual 50 gallons carried in the wing tanks. I flew my airplane on automotive gas. I had 5 6-gallon tanks with a hose clamp around the handle of each one for grounding to prevent fires, sparks and fires during refueling, and regularly traveled to the local gas station for fuel. The airplane was so cheap to operate that I never worried about paying for gas. I only had to worry about making time to fly it. And fly it I did, weekly from Alamogordo to El Paso or from Alamogordo to Albuquerque or Santa Fe. Crew cars. What a wonderful discovery this was. My son and I learned that many FBOs, fixed base operators, provide a courtesy car to the crews of transient aircraft. Why? Typically, when a business aircraft lands, say a Learjet, the pilots usually purchase fuel, and it can cost thousands of dollars to fuel a business aircraft. So in doing business at this level, it is a courtesy and a wise business decision to allow the crew to use a car during their stay. So whenever I flew to Albuquerque or Santa Fe, I would get free use of a car, of course replacing whatever gas we used. The car was used to visit the city and conduct our affairs, whether for pleasure or business. To show you how extreme this can be, I once called Qatar Aviation, the FBO at the Santa Fe airport in New Mexico, to reserve the crew car for a visit. I was planning later that day. I was informed that the crew car was already out for the day. I was then put on hold for a minute, and when the person came back to the phone, I was told there would be a car ready for me and my passenger to use. Weren't we surprised to discover that the FBO had rented a car for us? Now that's service.